Hey everybody, I'm Gary Palmer Jr., you're you, and together we are Minting Coins, your trusted source for crypto news, interviews, and ICO reviews. Thanks for showing up. Hit that like button. It really supports us and it helps other people find this content. Also, if you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comments box below so your voice is heard as part of the community. In today's episode, we have a few things to cover, and we have a lot to cover. We have big news headlines coming out from the United States of America and across the world. The way Bitcoin and blockchain technology is going to be ramping up and shaping all of our lives, but not just the technology, but the laws and regulations that surround that. So we have new laws coming out, being proposed, in the process of coming out, at least, coming out of Arizona. At the same time, we have worldwide regulation in the works. Countries, banks, regulators from around the world coming together, recognizing that there's a global need for the existing power dynamic to start creating the rules on a global level for Bitcoin users. Thanks for being with us. Let's take a look at the market, peek across the news, and let's discuss. Okay, so taking a quick peek at the market over here at livecoinwatch.com, we can see that Bitcoin is moving more in that upward trajectory. We're around $8,500 of Bitcoin, and a lot of people are predicting or expecting or speculating that the price of Bitcoin and the overall cryptocurrency market is going to start moving upward in March. Once we finish February, hit March 1st, there's going to be a lot of reasons that Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market could be moving up. We have the Chinese New Year, which will be happening and then over with, happening, I think it's February 16th. And we also have bonuses that are coming out to Wall Street folk. We have tax refunds that are coming in to a lot of people across America. We have a lot of concerns in the traditional marketplace between the bond market and the geopolitical situations around the world, as well as the world economic situation as being defined and sculpted by the Federal Reserve and central banks across the world, defining interest rates. And if interest goes up, if interest was to, be as high as 10%, 10% on interest in everyone's home, everyone's cars, 10% on, $21 trillion of national debt is just a lot of money and interest to be paying for. And it's a crazy situation a lot of people are aware of, and this is where a lot of people's focus and attention is going to as they're comparing traditional markets, cryptocurrency markets, gold and silver markets. There's a lot happening, and people who are paying attention are people who already have power, they already have control, they already have position, and they have $10 million or $100 million, and they want to hedge their bets and put a percentage of their portfolio into these other technologies, these other systems. Then those are risks that they're going to take based on what they're seeing in the market. Real quick, looking at coin360.io, we see the past 7-day performance, and by and large, we are up in the green. We have green, in the majority of this board, with a lot of these smaller coins over here that are in the red. We see in terms of the coins by market cap, the market over the past 7 days is moving up. Taking a quick stop at CryptoWatch, we see that most of all, we are in the green most recently. I think it's interesting that while the BTC futures are up 2.6%, we have the ETH futures down 1.9%. What does it all mean? And a quick free shout out to Connor, who has a blockchain balance app over in the Google Play Store. Connor's charging 99 cents for this app. We haven't tried this app ourselves, so we can't personally vouch for this app. But if you're someone with experience in the community, someone who understands Bitcoin and blockchain technology, and you want to check out the blockchain balance code storage and QR reader app, feel free to take that a gander and let us know what you think by shooting us an email over the Minting Coins. Then we'll share your review perhaps in a future episode. So starting off in the news over here at Financial Magnates, we have Arizona State Senate approves the bill to permit tax payments in Bitcoin. So we've had a lot of naysayers in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space saying that Bitcoin isn't real until they can pay their taxes with it. Because until you can pay your taxes, nothing else matters other than the good old USD Benjamin Franklin's to pay your US taxes. But in Arizona, if this bill actually gets approved and if it actually gets moved forward, since right now the state Senate in Arizona passed the bill, but it would still need to go to additional layers of the government legislative process to go through final approval. But if this gets passed, this would allow the taxpayers to pay their obligations with Bitcoin and potentially some other accepted digital coins in the near future. So this bill in Arizona is classified under Senate Bill 1091. And you can go take a peek at that bill and get more information, especially if you're in Arizona. This may be right up your alley, or if this is something you care about in your state, then what you can do is that you can look at the Senate bill for Arizona and you can apply that as a template for what you want to do under, your state laws in terms of, getting similar legislation moved forward before there's federal laws that may supersede that in the pending months or years ahead. So again, if this is passed, what this would mean is that cryptocurrency would be widely accepted, widely adopted, especially in Arizona, well before 2020. And we have a quote here that says that what Arizona is doing is sending a message, sending a signal to everyone in the United States and possibly throughout the world that Arizona is going to be a place for blockchain and digital currency technology in the future. They are putting a stake in the ground. They are proving it with their words, with this legislation, and they're pushing this forward to send a message to the United States that Bitcoin is real, blockchain technology is significant, and they want to be in the forefront. This is going to be an example of many other states, all 49 others that are not going to want to be left behind as other states gain business, as other states gain income, as other states gain additional prosperity from accepting Bitcoin and blockchain technology sooner than everybody else. But it's not just in the United States. We're also seeing the interest in regulation at the global level. And this is being a recurring vocal call over and over again from world leaders and world regulators at every opportunity possible. So again, we're seeing the IMF chief Lagarde, global cryptocurrency regulation is inevitable. And so Christine Lagarde is the head of the International Monetary Fund and has stated that there is international regulatory action on cryptocurrencies that is inevitable. What she said in a recent interview on CNN Money is that we are actively engaging in anti-money laundering and counterfeiting and countering the financing of terrorism. And that reinforces our determination to work on those two directions. So same thing we've always heard, anti-money laundering and stopping the finance of terrorism using these very real threats that may make up a very small percentage of the economy, and using these as reasons why there should be inevitable global regulation on cryptocurrencies. So she further explained that the regulatory direction should be activity-based, and what this means is focusing on exactly who is doing what and whether they're properly licensed and supervised to be doing whatever it is that they're doing. This is really interesting in a decentralized world with decentralized technology that is really putting regulation and centralized decision-making that usually focuses on jurisdictions within borders. We have this decentralized technology, which is borderless, permissionless, global, not really thinking about the rules and the regulations. It's just is, and it just is existing. And instead of controlling the technology, we see this pivot into controlling, further what it is that people can and can't do, and being able to have 100% visibility to determine if they're doing something that they should or shouldn't do, even with the decentralized blockchain technology. And so this isn't just the president of the IMF, this is also the UK Prime Minister, Theresa May, the French President, Emmanuel Macron, and Secretary of the US Treasury Department, Steve Mnuchin. And just last week, we have senior officials from France and Germany calling for the G20 group of nations to discuss cooperative action on cryptocurrencies, and for them to do this ahead of their G20 summit next month. And so we can be sure to expect major headlines coming from the G20 and every single major global convention. Cryptocurrency is going to be a topic of discussion at every single one of these moving forward. And real quick to that point, at what point will one of these countries in the G20 or the G20 together have their own global fiat, their own global cryptocurrency, this international cryptocurrency that may apply to everybody across the world? Maybe we'll be headed toward a global cryptocurrency, and then that would just be a very interesting development that a lot of people are talking about. We could have countries have their own cryptocurrencies, but there really could also be these global cryptocurrencies as well, which aren't decentralized blockchain technology. They are centralized distributed ledgers that really keeps the control with one small group of people, while even going further with invading, what may be your rights, your privacy. And we can see perfect examples of this in this next article from Cointelegraph that talks about the CME and their plans to develop a new system to easily modify blockchain protocols. What does that mean? So the CME has a patent for a system that would allow modifications to a blockchain protocol without the consensus from all the participants of the network. And so this was originally filed by the CME group back in December 2017, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, who originally started with the Bitcoin futures. And so this has been published by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office last Thursday. The CME uses the example of airline frequent flyer programs to demonstrate the potential problems with using blockchain that can't be easily modified. Blockchain technology like Bitcoin. Bitcoin cannot be easily modified because if you want to implement something, if you want to update the software like they did with SegWit, you need to have 95% consensus in order to do that. If you don't have 95% consensus to modify the code, to modify the governance, to modify the protocol, to do any of these updates, you need 95%. If you don't have 95% with Bitcoin, then you will fork Bitcoin, and then you have two different Bitcoins. And so for those reasons, a lot of organizations, a lot of central organizations, financial, regulatory, government, don't like Bitcoin because it can't easily be controlled. There's no one group, no one person, no one anything for them to update or to control Bitcoin. Well, that might be the Bitcoin blockchain, but the blockchain technology overall can be modified and used however they want. And now the CME has this new patent that basically proposes a method for synchronizing rule changes in a system which implements a blockchain for transactions. And so this means that the blockchain can still manage the ledger and be available for perhaps everyone to see and for everyone to use and to have all the benefits of the blockchain. But big but here for the decentralized open source majority people of the world is that when a processor determines that a data message with a change to how blocks are processed for addition to the blockchain is valid, it generates a transaction in a new block which contains the information about how to change the protocol of the blockchain's operation. And so basically what this is saying is that if the CME was the owner-operator of a blockchain, that the CME could update the rules of how that blockchain works, say, for example, what the total supply of the token is, and the CME would be able to push that change through and have it just zipper in, let's say, with the rest of the mining of that blockchain system without everyone a part of that system to have to approve that change. This is a very scary situation to recognize that the central authorities of the world can have their side of the benefits of the Bitcoin and blockchain technology, the insight and the control, without people having equal access to the security of knowing that the rules won't change. Needless to say, this patent is a big deal. This patent is a big deal to allow organizations and central authorities to update the rules, update the governments, to have complete control of the rules and the governance of the blockchain technology, to be able to change the rules, to be able to update the rules while the system is still in place, providing all the benefits that everyone knows and loves about the blockchain technology. It's really providing the worst of the worst while taking away the best and the best. And these are reasons why Bitcoin will continue to grow. These are reasons why the Ethereum network will continue to expand, because when people aren't sure about who to trust, more and more people are going to be moving toward the technologies that are more decentralized, that are more open, that have more equality for everyone in the game, not just the people, not just the corporations, but each of the constituents involved. So if you want to take a peek at this patent, it's going to be in the show notes below, which are actually linked on the website, or Steam it. And beyond that, yeah, just let me know what you think. What do you think about Arizona allowing, or seeking to allow people to pay their taxes with Bitcoin? What do you think about the IMF chief really pushing forward and world leaders really pushing forward global regulations about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, especially with the upcoming G20 summit in the works? And then, yeah, this patent from the CME really shows why we need to all be paying attention, why we all need to be participating, and why each of us should have our voice heard as part of this community. So thanks for sticking around. Like this video, comment below, and until next time, I'm glad that together we are minting coins.